year, Alexandra Eala makes it to the second round of the Madrid Open. What a professional, mature performance that was against one of the world's best ever in former world number 11, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. This time a qualifier, and she moves past the 34-year-old in some style. It's brilliant from Eala once again.
3 days ago, something happened on a clay court in Madrid that the international tennis world simply was not ready for. A 19-year-old from the Philippines walked into one of the most prestigious tournaments on the WTA calendar, looked a former Grand Slam finalist dead in the eyes, and took her completely apart in straight sets. No nerves, no wobble, no mercy, just cold, precise, suffocating tennis from the first point to the last. If you missed it, sit down because we are going to walk through every single detail of what Alex Eala did to Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, and by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why the entire women's draw in Madrid is quietly terrified right now. Let me set the scene for you. The Caja Magica. Altitude sitting at over 600 meters above sea level, which means the air is thin, the ball flies differently, and your body burns out faster than almost anywhere else on tour. This is European clay at its most unforgiving. And Alex was walking into this match as the younger, less experienced player against a woman who has spent years carving her name into the history of the surface. Pavlyuchenkova is not just any opponent. She is a grinder, a fighter, someone who has gone deep into Roland Garros and come out the other side with the kind of clay court IQ that takes a decade to develop. The bookmakers were not backing Alex. The pundits were talking about the experience gap, the power gap, the everything gap. And then the match started. And none of that mattered. The first thing you need to understand about what happened is the serve. Because on clay, where rallies are long and heavy and exhausting, your first serve is not just a weapon. It is survival. If you are consistently handing your opponent a second serve to attack, especially someone like Pavlyuchenkova, who can take the ball early and redirect pace with real authority, you are essentially inviting punishment into your own living room. Alex did not do that. She landed 70% of her first serves. 70. On a surface where the high altitude makes ball toss control genuinely difficult, under the pressure of facing a former major finalist, she was hitting that box almost 3 out of every 4 attempts. That percentage alone begins to tell the story. But what made it truly special was what happened after. When that first serve landed, Alex won 76% of those points. Think about what that means in practice. It means that the moment her serve went in, the rally was essentially over before it began. She was dictating direction, controlling tempo, moving Pavlyuchenkova around the court, and finishing on her own terms. She was not surviving those points. She was winning them on purpose. Now flip it around and look at what Alex was doing when she was receiving. Pavlyuchenkova has real serve power. She is not someone you can casually stand on the baseline and redirect, but Alex was doing exactly that. She was stepping inside the line, catching the ball early, taking away time, and sending it back heavier and more aggressive than it arrived. The Russian managed to win just 50% of points on her own first serve. That is an extraordinary stat for a player of her caliber. It means Alex was not just neutralizing the serve. She was turning it into a disadvantage. She won 26 receiving points across the match. 26 moments where she walked onto someone else's shot and made it her own. That kind of returning performance against a top-level player on clay is the sort of thing that earns you a reputation on tour, and reputations on tour travel fast. But the part of this match that really showed who Alex is as a competitor was the break points. 6 times during this match, Pavlyuchenkova put Alex under genuine pressure. 6 moments where the Russian had a chance to break serve, to shift the energy in the stadium, to make the young Filipina feel the weight of the occasion. These are the moments that separate talent from toughness. Because talent can get you to a break point situation. What you do inside it is something else entirely. Alex saved 5 of those 6. 5 times she looked a pressure moment in the face and came out the other side with her serve intact. She did not panic. She did not tighten up. She raised her level exactly when the match demanded it. And then, on the other end, when she was creating her own chances on the Russian serve, she converted 4 from 8 break point opportunities. a 50% conversion rate against a former Grand Slam finalist, on clay, in the first round of a mandatory 1,000 event. She broke Pavlyuchenkova 4 times. 4 times she found the moment, identified the opening, and drove through it without hesitation. The match ended 63-63. On paper, that scoreline might look straightforward, but the point difference underneath it was 18. Alex won 68 total points. Pavlyuchenkova won 50. In a sport where individual points carry enormous weight, where a single double fault or net cord can swing a game, 18 points over 2 sets is not a narrow victory dressed up nicely. It is domination. It is control from the first game to the last. Alex won 12 games in total. Pavlyuchenkova won 6. Alex held serve 8 times. The Russian managed 5 service holds. Every single metric tells the same story. But the one that genuinely sent a shiver through anyone watching closely was the consecutive points data. When Pavlyuchenkova found her best rhythm during the match, she strung together 5 consecutive points. A solid run. Enough to be dangerous. Enough to make a crowd start buzzing. When Alex found her rhythm, she won 9 consecutive points. 9. Against a woman who has played in a Grand Slam final. That is not just a hot streak. That is a demolition run that psychologically breaks an opponent. You could see it in Pavlyuchenkova's body language. The looks to her coaching box. The slumped shoulders between points. She had come into this match as the experienced one, the powerful one, the one who was supposed to control the clay. Instead, she spent the better part of 2 sets watching a teenager from Manila dismantle her game piece by piece with an almost eerie calmness. Now, because this channel does not just celebrate without being honest, there is one number in Alex's stat sheet that deserves attention and real context. She won 37% of second serve points. If you are playing the best players in the world, that number needs to improve. The top-ranked players on tour will hunt a vulnerable second serve without mercy. They will step in, they will take the pace away, and they will dictate the rally from the first ball. Against the absolute elite, that vulnerability could cost her. But here's the thing. Today it did not matter. And it did not matter because of that 70% first serve percentage. She protected the weakness by making it almost irrelevant. She simply did not give Pavlyuchenkova enough second serves to attack. That is tactical intelligence. That is knowing your own game well enough to build a strategy around your strengths so completely that your weakness barely gets exposed. That kind of thinking does not come from natural talent alone. That comes from preparation, from coaching, from hours of deliberate work at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, where she has been building this game under some of the best developmental coaches on the planet. And the physical side of this match cannot be overlooked either. Clay court tennis is a physical war. The sliding, the heavy rallies, the thin Madrid air, all of it stacks up over the course of a match. Alex won 42 service points to Pavlyuchenkova's 26. She was not just outplaying her opponent technically. She was outrunning her, out-hustling her, outlasting her in the extended exchanges that clay court tennis demands. All those early mornings and long afternoon sessions in the Spanish heat have built something real in this young player. She looked fresher at the end of the second set than some players look at the start of a match. And this is not the first time Alex has made people stand up and take notice this season. The results have been building. The wins against quality opponents on hard courts earlier in the year were pointing towards something, a player who is developing the consistency and the mentality to compete not just on one surface, but across all of them. The clay transition is not something every hard court player can make smoothly. The movement mechanics are different, the timing is different, the tactics are different. Some players never crack it. Alex walked onto the Madrid clay in round 1 and made it look entirely natural. Her left-hand topspin forehand, which already generates real trouble on faster surfaces, becomes even more of a weapon up here at altitude where the ball kicks higher and heavier. She was using it to push Pavlyuchenkova wide, open the court, and create angles that the veteran simply had no answer for. And for every young kid sitting somewhere in the Philippines right now holding a racket and wondering whether this sport is something they could ever truly compete in at the highest level, this match matters in a way that goes far beyond rankings and statistics. Southeast Asian players have historically been absent from the upper reaches of professional tennis. The pathways, the infrastructure, the financial reality of developing elite players, all of it has made this part of the world underrepresented on the biggest stages. Alex is not just winning tennis matches. She is breaking open a door that a lot of people did not believe existed. 68 points won. 4 breaks of serve. Straight sets against a former major finalist. Written down like that, it almost sounds simple. But anyone who has played this sport or followed it seriously knows exactly what it takes to produce those numbers against that level of opponent in that kind of environment. Alex is now through to the second round of the Madrid Open for the 3rd consecutive year. The draw gets harder from here. The players get bigger, the points get tighter, and the pressure gets heavier. But after what we watched in round 1, after the composure she showed saving those 5 break points, after those 9 consecutive points that shattered Pavlyuchenkova's spirit, it is very difficult to look at what is coming and feel anything other than genuine excitement. The Madrid women's draw has been put on notice. Not with words. Not with press conference quotes or social media posts. With a 63-63 dismantling of a proven, experienced Grand Slam finalist on red clay. The warning has been delivered. Now the question is who is brave enough to step onto the other side of the net and find out what round 2 looks like.